Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap, excuse me, is for Monday, March the 11th, 2024. Monday, March the 11th. Well, look, still got this thing going on, y'all. Ignore it. We have Spinelli and Maxie. They are checking all of Sunny's safe houses to see if they can find Jason. Now, guess who's leading Maxie to all of these safe houses? Spinelli. Do you think Maxie, not that she's going to do anything with it, but let's not forget who her father is. He was the police commissioner. Now Anna took over the job, but remember when Jordan had the job, it was broken up to chief of police and then chief of the detectives. Jordan took detectives, Mac took police. Okay. Now she know all this sensitive stuff. Thank goodness he don't know she know, because they want to check up on something of Sonny's. Guess where they would go? To the person who knows, right? I thought that was bonehead, Spinelli. See, that was the kind of stuff and I understand they're looking for Jason, right? But they don't know that Jason has been shot. And since they don't know, why would Spinelli feel he needs to look for Jason? Because they are so amateur hour. Kate's could have had one of the FBI agents just telling Spinelli and Maxie, right? Because they gonna lead us to wherever we need to go. And that's exactly what they did. They ran out of gas though, because Maxie wasn't expecting that all the safe houses would be so far apart from each other, right? So they ran out of gas in the middle of nowhere. As they were talking, I was fully expecting Jason to crawl up in the back seat. But if he did, they couldn't go nowhere because they had no gas. So anyway, they end up having a good talk and, you know, pretty much goo eyeing each other. And then she goes, okay, when can you move out? Now they left it there and he's looking at her like, what? But my thing is, she's probably saying, when can you move out of your apartment and move into our house? And we'll probably get to that tomorrow, because has Maxie already kicked Spinelli out of her house? Yes, she has. Yes, she has. So she's probably asking him to move back in. Okay. So yeah, that was them. Then we had TJ, who, by the way, thank God they finally cut, or he finally cut his hair. I like TJ with shorter hair. The way he has it now, it looks neater, in my opinion. It could just be me. But he had a long talk with Jordan, and TJ kind of really pissed me off a lot. Talking about, because Christina, it's her egg, the baby is tied to Christina's father. There's ties there. When it was a anonymous egg, they didn't have to worry about all of that. And now we do, and there's trouble, following, Corinthos side and blah, blah, blah. And I thought, let's say, now Molly's at work, which is why they explain why Molly wasn't there, when we all know they're recasting Molly again. Please don't let them make it a horrible recast, right? But he's all worried about, then we would have to be spending hours worrying. I'm sorry, Molly ain't there today. So how much worrying would she really be doing? Because guess what? After work, she would probably go home, take care of her baby, call her sister. Because see, that's Molly, right? Christina would be the one to drop everything and go to her sister, but Molly's going to rationalize it. So anyway, I said, okay, let's say Christina wasn't pregnant with their baby. Let's say Molly wasn't at work and Molly was coming to the hospital to, well, actually, Sonny ain't shot, but Dante is Christina's brother. So she's there for her brother and supporting her father. Let's say Christina's brother's shot and is in ICU. Would Molly go to the hospital and be holding her sister's hand if her sister wasn't pregnant with her baby and Molly wasn't working and didn't have something else better to do? Look, I better not start laughing because I'm gonna start coughing. The answer is yes, TJ. Yes. Dante Falconeri is a cop, which is what Anna said. He was doing his, I mean, not Anna Jordan. He was doing his job. So bottom line, you just like, I'm worried about him. Well, you be worried about him anyway. Christina being surrogate to this baby has nothing to do with it. And now he has the nerve to talk about his insecurities about Christina being the egg donor and blah, blah. But I already went along with it, so I just can't really voice my feelings. And I'm like, you know what? No, you can't. No, you can't. See, suck it up, TJ. Because because of Christina, and Jordan said it. Well, because of Christina, you and Molly are going to be parents if everything goes well with this pregnancy. Because Christina's giving you this gift. So, it was almost like don't look a gift horse in the mouth and don't look for problems. Whatever your feelings might be, still talk to Molly. Talk to Molly. Jordan gave him good advice, but I'm looking at him like, you idiot. Talking out the side of your mouth. See, you and Molly took 2 seconds to decide, well, okay, we'll take Christina up on her offer because their surrogate lost their baby. And they were impulsive and wanted to do, wanted to do it right away again. That's on them. But anyway, so Sasha comes to see Cody and to be with him at the hospital. He's down on another floor. The family doesn't even know he's there. And she's there to support him. So they had a good conversation, talking. And she let him know she's there for him as a friend, period. And friends are there for friends, and she's there for him. So anyway, they have their conversation. Then Finn comes over to see Elizabeth. Elizabeth hasn't gotten off work yet, but Jake is there. Jake's all worried about the vape uh, device, vaping device he took from Danny. And it was in his pocket. And then there was a knock on the door. And he shoves it back in his pocket and he walks over to the door and it's Finn. And he goes, my mom's not here yet. He goes, wow, really? She should actually be home. I know, what time. He goes, well, maybe she's running a little late. He goes, do you mind if I come in and wait? And Jake's like, no. So when Finn comes in, he sees on the floor, I guess the cap or the top, however they work, to the little vaping device. And he goes, oh, what's this? And Jake says, oh, you found the piece to my video game, right? And Finn looks at him. He goes, Jake, I do know what this is. This is a cap to a vaping device. And so Jake was like, oh, okay. So Jake says, it's not mine. He goes, I know what it looks like, but it's not what it looks like. It is not mine. And he goes, really? He says, no. He says, I took it from a friend. And he says, why would you take it from a friend? He goes, because the friend is vaping a lot. And I know vaping is dangerous. And Finn said, yes, vaping is dangerous. It was supposed to be an alternative to smoking to help people get off of cigarettes. But now it's being marketed to kids, and it's very addictive, and it is. It's bad for you. He goes, and I know. And he goes, and now my friend is all mad at me. And so Finn says, well, how do you feel about it? He goes, he still shouldn't be vaping, right? So anyway, Elizabeth comes home, but before she comes home, she's getting ready to leave the hospital. And Danny just waltzes right on in. And she goes, Danny, it's a little late for you to be out, isn't it? And he goes, yeah, I'm here to check on Dante. And she goes, does your mom know you're here? He said, no, I took a ride share. She's like, okay, come with me. And he goes, I don't want my mom to see. And I thought, well, Sherlock, your plan wasn't very good, right? Because you come to the hospital to check up on Dante. Your mother is there at the hospital. How were you planning on Sam not seeing you? So Elizabeth takes her there. Alexis is with Sam and Sonny's there. And Elizabeth brings him up, and Sam looks, Danny, what are you doing here? And he goes, no, how did you get here? And so he goes, I took a ride share. She goes, you snuck out. He goes, does Drew know you're here? And he goes, so you snuck out again, right? And so Elizabeth says, oh, hear him out. He's worried about Dante, you know. And so he goes, yeah, I'm worried about Dante. I came to find out because we're getting no updates. We know nothing. And so Elizabeth says, listen, I've got to go. She goes, thank you, Elizabeth, for bringing him here. So she goes, okay. And Alexis kind of looks at her like, and Sonny's standing there because Sonny goes, look, I'm going to have one of my private drivers drive you home. And Danny says, no. And Sam looks at him and says, Danny, like, you don't talk in that tone to an adult. And so he goes, I'm gonna stay. I want to stay. And so Alexis is looking at her like, okay, how are you gonna handle this? Don't go overboard. And so Alexis says, you know what? Why don't I make a suggestion? Why doesn't Danny just stay with me here? And this way he can get an update on Dante and yada yada yada. So Sam's like, fine. She wanted to get back into the room. So Alexis takes Danny to the vending machine. They have a talk, and good talk. It's funny now, the last few weeks, we're seeing grandparents with grandkids, right? So she ends up talking him into going home um, in case Scout wakes up. And this way he will be able to tell Rocco he was here, and blah, blah, blah. So Danny's like, yeah, okay. He was cool with that. So Lexus is going to take him home. So Sam is in seeing Sonny and, sitting by his side. Now let's deal with Carly. Carly is dealing with Anna and Kate. Now what's interesting is Anna is using all the personal things she knows, the ins and the outs, to get an upper hand. And okay, you know what, Anna, that's your job. I ain't mad at you, right? But when you need a favor for Sonny, guess what you're going to do? You're going to go ask for a favor, right? And let's not forget the favor Sonny has done for you over these past 2 years. Bunch of favors, okay? So, yeah. Anyway, I kind of even think Valentine and Anna hid up in one of Sonny's safe houses. Go figure. See, when you need him, you need him. So anyway, Jason's not in the house and they don't find any traces of blood. And so they're like, Carly's calling Diane saying, stop them from searching the house because she doesn't know Jason got out. And then they're like, okay, where are your cars? She goes, my 2 cars are in the garage. And there's a space for a third car, but Jocelyn is not here. So then they said, okay, then Morgan left on foot and blah, 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 and whatever. Carly's like, well, wait a minute. Carly asked something. I forget what she asked. And so she goes, Anna turns and looks at her and says, I thought you said you didn't know you didn't believe Jason was alive. And Cardi's looking at her like, well, you just told me he was, and you searched my house. Obviously, I'm gonna believe some of it. So I don't think Anna answers her question because I forget. It was Anna that said, Jason, we got to treat him as armed because he shot. Oh, they let him know about Dante, that Dante is shot and Jason shot him. And Carly's like, Jason wouldn't shoot Dante. And Jason wouldn't try to kill Sonny. And she goes, you know that, Anna. You know that. So Kate was like, well, all the evidence shows that he's possibly the one that did shoot Detective Falconeri, and he was up on the roof. When the shots were fired into the warehouse. So anyway, they get outside Carly's house, and he goes, "Okay, so do you know anywhere else he might go?" So Anna says, "I know one other place." Right? So they go to the bridge, that Jason had built. And Kate's comes on, he's on one side, and Anna's on the other. And of course, Jason is on the bridge. And Anna's like, Jason, and Kate's is like, stop right there. And Jason's looking, and he's, from the bullet wound, he's hurting. So he's walking slow and he's in pain. And Anna said, Jason, just let us take you in. Let us take you in. We will find out what's going on. We will get this all sorted out. And so Jason looks at her, and Jason jumps off that bridge into the water. And Kate is like, okay, well, now he's dead. And Anna says, why would you assume that? He goes, well, he jumped into this water. He's washed, he probably drowned. She goes, well, he obviously didn't want us taking us in. And he assessed the fact that he probably thought he could make that jump and survive. So he took his chances. She's like, don't count him out, right? She said there's probably a property somewhere around here he was going to, right? So Case and her are just standing there looking in the water. And I thought, well, for one, we already know they didn't bring Jason back to die jumping off that bridge, right? So at the end, it shows Jason coming into a shack. To me, it looks like the Quartermain boathouse. And he slowly gets in there and he just passes out and hits the floor. Because for one, the fall, for two, he's shot and bleeding because all they did is put a little bandage over the gunshot wound, and all this walking, running, he bleeding. And I thought, that looks like the Quartermain's boathouse. My guess is somehow Willow or Michael's going to find it. That's my guess. And Willow being a nurse. See, we're looking at what nurse can patch up Jason because Elizabeth isn't there. Epiphany is dead or gone. Nope, they had her die on the show. Epiphany is dead. And first aid, Carly already did her first aid thing. He needs a real nurse. So my guess is it's somehow Willow. Either she's going to come into that boathouse looking for a toy for Amelia and Wiley, because of course they just left them toys in boathouses, or somehow Michael's going to be out there pacing, worried, walking around, and hear something and go in, and he'll get Willow to help with Jason. So we shall see. Now, Carly tells, no, Sonny tells Sam about, no, did they leave it where he told him it was Jason? Yeah, Sonny told Sam that Jason is alive because he goes, we got a lead on the shooter. and who possibly could have shot Dante. And she says, who? Because the earlier she told him, you find out who that is who did this to Dante. I want him taken care of. And she goes, and you do know what I'm talking about, right? And he goes, mm-hmm. She goes, good. So he says it was Jason. Jason's alive. And Sam is just standing there looking at him like, wait, what? So she goes back in to see Dante. And then Sonny, Carly, he gets a text from Carly, and she wanted him to meet her up on the roof of GH, which he does. And he goes, why would you want to meet me up here? She said, because what I want to talk to you about, nobody could hear. No, I don't want anybody around to hear it. So he goes, you know about Jason? And she goes, you know about Jason? He goes, yeah, he tried to kill me. And he probably is the one that shot Dante. And she goes, Sonny, you know Jason would never do that. You know this. Jason has saved your life countless times. He would never do this, and he would never shoot Dante. And Sonny's like, I don't know this, I don't know that at all. I know he was there. I know my son ran after him. My son is shot twice. Jason's a sharpshooter, and he don't miss. Now, see, he's not even thinking of his own rationality. Jason is a sharpshooter, and he does not miss. So, would Jason have missed if he really wanted to kill Sonny tonight? The answer is no. Would Jason have missed at the pool side of the Metro Court? The answer is no. Would Jason have missed Sonny and Ava on the island? The answer is no. But Sonny's not thinking about that, and rightfully so. He's grieving his son. He's worried about his son. His son might die, right? So he doesn't know, but right now he's willing to believe the worst. But Carly was ride or die with that. She's like, look, I don't know what's going on. And he goes, you saw Jason, didn't you? She goes, yeah, he was in my house. Tell me what he said. So Carly ran through everything, and now she's trying to do first aid. And then you didn't find out, did he say anything about Dante? She goes, Dante, no, Dante didn't come up. She goes, there wasn't enough time, Sonny, for Jason and I to really have a conversation before Anna and Kate showed up. So anyway, here we got Ava in this here, and he's willing to listen to, because now he's trying to kiss her and hop in the sack with her. We have Carly, who's known Jason all this time with him, trying to put some real logical sense back into his head. See, Carly is the one that should be the confidant, realistically. Okay. So that's it for today. Um, you know what? You know what, everybody? I would probably only get to 5 or 6 of these comments, and there's 40 of them. That's not enough. I'm not back to where I could really get through reading these comments and keep my composure. So everybody, please comment on everybody else's comments. I am reading them. You guys are giving some really good feedback and good comments on Comment Corner. So thank you so much. Keep it going, keep it going. And I will be back tomorrow. And I thank you so much, everybody, for the well wishes. Am I better? I hope so. Maybe, but I do have my little humidifier in my room. I remembered I should have done that a couple nights ago. So anyway, I will be back tomorrow with another daily recap of General Hospital.